Hello, BookTube. We're back to do more of a library tour that I just realized is going to take probably 10 years. I can't go on and on and on in every video about how I'm incredibly amassing books and I've got piles of books everywhere, and at the same time think that a library tour is possible. And yet, that's exactly what I am embarked on. And we are not at the second shelf yet. We're not there yet. We are still clearing away books to get to the second shelf. So we're just going to keep doing that. So we have this thing here, this little book, is by James Davidson, who is a really good historian of classical Greece. This is his book, One Mykonos, tiny little thing that you're not going to be able really to tell, but this survived a fire. This survived a house fire. One of the few books I have that did. Hardier books that I wish I had did not survive, but this thing did. Now, that shows you the resilience of narcissism. This is a little memoir about the fact that the gays love Mykonos. They love going there. They love wandering around there. They love doing drugs there. They love rogering like rabbits there. For some reason, South Pittsburgh is not good enough. They have to board a plane and do that with pretty much the same people on the other side of the world. It's evocative in ways. Davidson's a good writer, so I'll read anything he writes. Then we have a lovely, this is just a lovely condition, little mass market hardcover of Patriotic Gore by Edmund Wilson. This is his book about literature of the American Civil War, memoirs and whatnot. A couple of critics in its day and since have carped about some of its blind spots, but I think it's lovely. It's Edmund Wilson when he's being focused, which is always great and not always what you get. You don't always get that from him. Then we have something that just turned up on this channel recently. This is by Sarah Reese Brennan. This is her book, The Demon's Lexicon. An ex-library copy that I had to tear this thing to pieces, like the Star Trek transporter. I had to tear it to pieces and then reassemble it to clean it out, but I did. Then we have a science fiction book club edition of Vonda McIntyre's novelization of The Search for Spock. I just recently got a copy of her novelization of Star Trek The Voyage Home. She did some of these Star Trek novelizations. They're actually really good. They're much better than most novelizations are. This is just the ordinary. I assume this is a science fiction book club edition or a Star Trek book club edition or something like that. It's obviously not built for a commercial sale. It doesn't have a price on it. It doesn't have an ISBN on it. It doesn't have any descriptions on it. It's just a companion to the movie, which just happens to be my favorite Star Trek movie. But we're going to keep going on here with the books. We're not at shelf number 2. We're not going to get to shelf number 2 today. We're just going to keep doing all the peripheries. Like, for instance, this one is by M. Henderson Ellis. And I got this before we were talking to each other and loved it, sang its praises. This is Keeping Bedlam at Bay in the Prague Cafe. This is about an extremely delusional chain coffee store barista who is the last person in the world to believe that he is a nameless, faceless cog who can easily be replaced. It's very, very rare that I read a comic novel in the modern era that is good. Very rare that I do that. And of course, that will be not just rare, but it'll be unknown in no time at all. The generation that was born in the 21st century does not know what humor is. They do not have a sense of humor. They don't have a sense of privacy, and they don't have a sense of humor. And I don't mean that they tell stale jokes or it's tough to make them laugh. It's that they don't understand the concept of something being funny. And if you don't understand that in your person-to-person interactions, I've lost track of how many young people have left comments on videos of mine or even emailed me about some comment that I made or some reference that I did saying, I don't get it. And I have had to write back to them over the years and say, it's not that you don't get it. What you want to be writing to me is that you get it, but you not only don't think it's funny, but you don't think I should say it unless you do think it's funny. You're not brave enough to come right out and say that, but that's what you mean. The comment itself is not hard. It's not that you don't get it. It's that you're telling me as close as you can, you're telling me that you wish you could forbid me from joking. not just about that subject, but at all. They don't just not understand humor, they don't like it. They don't like the appearance of it. So, and if that's just in conversation, well, imagine how much rarer it is for a sustained comic novel. Those are hard to do even for yuckmeisters. Then we have, oh, this has got stuff all over it. Well, I don't doubt it, since it's not actually on a bookshelf. This was a find. I really enjoyed this. I now want to pair it with a book that one of you very kindly sent me. This is an anthology called Two Gun Bob, a collection of stories about Robert E. Howard. Not fiction, but reflections, assessments, literary analyses, that sort of thing. And one of you just recently sent me, it'd be too nice to think that it would be out here. No, of course not. One of you just recently sent me another book, another critical study of Robert E. Howard, one of only a handful that I know of, that I see. I'm sure there are plenty, but I've only seen titles of a couple of them. This is one, I now have the other. They're nowhere near each other, but this one I really enjoyed. So the next one I think I will as well. Let's keep going. We have this thing. This was from my book orgy, my book buying orgy with David Murphy. This is Duncan Falconer, The Hostage. He-Man Accident Adventure. I have it out here. I haven't read it yet. I got it for $1. When I did the haul that included it, I asked a lot of you if you recognized it. Some of you have been emailing me stories about, you have basically a good relationship with this author. You like his books, so that's good. I found a trade copy of At Swim Two Birds by Flann O'Brien that I mean to get to. It's a nice solid trade paperback. What else is here? Oh my. Okay, well, this was a gift from a friend who knew exactly what to look for at the Strand bookstore. This is from 1908. This is a book called Present Day Problems by William Howard Taft. This is, I was given this 110 years after it came out. There is the author. It's so great. It doesn't belong here at all. Okay, then we have Joseph Lincoln. This is his book, The Rise of Roscoe Payne. This is an illustrated naked hardcover, but I would very much like to find this, with a dust jacket. I kicked myself because about 10 years ago at the Brattle Bookshop here in Boston, my used bookstore, for those of you encountering these videos, from nations yet unborn, they're in my used bookstore, and once upon a time, about 10 years ago, they're always out buying books, and they got virtually the whole of Lincoln in hardcovers with dust jackets, with plastic coverings over them, and I ignored it. I just ignored it. I wish I hadn't done that. He was, a century ago, a quintessential Cape Cod novelist, and his books are hokey and syrupy in the way that popular fiction was then, but I like them, and this is one of only 3 that I have. Sooner or later, some other Cape Cod house will go up for sale, and hundreds more of those books will go to the Brattle, and I will get them all. Nobody else wants them. Then we have a couple of other He-Man-y type action books that I got at the same time. These are lovely trade paperbacks from the UK. This is The Coffin Maker's Garden by Stuart McBride. Nice big oversized thing there. And also The Missing and the Dead by Stuart McBride. I don't know anything about Stuart McBride. I got both of these just because they were $1 and they are UK trade paperbacks. That's usually all I need. I didn't really put out the call about these, but I did hear from a couple of you that you like this guy, that you like this author. I just haven't got to them yet. That's all. And then this was for March Mystery Madness. March Mystery Madness this year was, one of the themes was To the Nines. You can read the 9th book in a murder mystery series. I got this because it was $1, but I also realized it was the 9th book in the series and never got to it. I had more mysteries to read for March Mystery Madness than I did read. I'll just keep going all year. I don't stop reading mysteries. This is A Man Without Breath by Philip Kerr. This is a Bernie Gunter novel. These are terrific, absolutely terrific. A hangdog policeman in Nazi Germany. Although the time period ranges all around on either side of Nazi Germany, but the best books, the ones that put him in a moral crucible, Bernie Gunter is not a dreamer. He's not a Nazi, but he's not a dreamer. He's not idealistic in any way. He just has an unbelievably dogged sense of right and wrong. So even when the country is being run by monsters, Uh, and I just realized that me reflexively referring to the Nazis as monsters would be offensive to 180 million adult Americans. I'm going to try to ignore that. I'm going to try to forget it. Even when they are in control of the country, he still has to solve crimes. He can't let them go. I never got to this thing, even though it's, it fit the bill perfectly. Then what do we have here? Okay. All right. This is by Fletcher Knebel. This is Night of Camp David. This was a reissue, a stylish paperback reissue of a classic thriller novel. When did I get this? Was this before we were talking to each other? Or after? This I got... oh, 2018, I think. So we were talking then. This is a reprint of a political thriller novel was the co-author of 7 Days in May, which got some attention. I read it on this channel, talked about it a few times on this channel, and I got this in the mail because, I love my job, as I always say. Okay, this is another one that I got in the mail. This is, when was this? This is the 50th anniversary edition. This came out in 2018, so the 50th anniversary edition of Charles Portis's novel, True Grit. Really nice arrangement here with the deckled edges and the French flaps. Just a really nice edition. Better than the edition that I had. I had an edition of this when this came in the mail, and I got rid of it. This one is nice and durable. It will stand a read and a reread. And True Grit is really good. The book is really good. You might have seen, if you're young, you might have seen the movie with, is it Beau Bridges? Jeff Bridges? Bridges' brother played Rooster Cogburn, the gigantic main character in True Grit. But there was an original version of True Grit with John Wayne, and both the movies are good. I, of course, think the John Wayne version is much better, but they're both really good. Well worth it, and the book is really good. The book is excellent. And believe it or not, we are approaching the shelf. I'm gonna cut off before I get there. we're just gonna do all the stuff that's in the way first, and then we'll do shelf number 2 tomorrow. So the last thing here is a book that you will not find in your bookstores. I don't think. I don't think you will. This is an anthology that my co-editors and I put together at Open Letters Monthly. 2 friends of mine and I created a literary journal called Open Letters Monthly a long time ago, almost 20 years ago. We made a literary journal, and we brought it out every month, and we had raw scrabbling times at the beginning, and it caught on, got some traction. We had a blast doing it. And at one point we decided that instead of just doing a reading, we should also make a book. We should pull together an anthology of some Open Letters material, collate it into a book, and have that book for sale or to give away at our next reading. So we made a book, Open Letters Monthly, an anthology, 2007 to 2010. Doesn't have a price on it. Oh, yes, it does. It has a price on it, $12. Does this have an ISBN? Was this ever actually for sale in a bookstore? I find that hard to believe. No, it doesn't have an ISBN. I guess we just had a price on it so that we could sell it. But this we have blurbs on the back, people talking about it on Letters Monthly, and then a whole anthology of people, of names that we all knew, names that we were all publishing or emailing with, and ourselves. I believe that all 3 of us are in here. Sam Sachs, John Cotter, and me, and yours truly. Yeah, plus lots and lots of other people. Great. Fantastic. So there's this. And that is it. That is everything. That now clears the path for shelf number 2. After all this work, we are now at shelf number 2. So we can do that next time. God help us. I don't know how long this is going to take, but we'll do shelf number 2 next time. So I'll wrap this up for now, and I will see you then. Thank you, BookTube.